Welcome everyone to Moon Station. I'm glad that you're here. In today's Dreaming While Awake, we are fortunate to have with us Long Lost, who is a photographer and poet. And I look forward to enjoying a good conversation with Long Lost, as well as understanding his philosophies and his way of artistic creation. So without further ado, let's bring Long Lost into the studio. Morning, Long Lost. How you doing today?
Good morning. Good. How are you?
Not too bad, man. As we were talking before we started, yeah, my allergies have just been like poof. So
Yeah.
that's been an experience for me this morning so far.
Yeah. I
So
hope you feel better as we do this.
I'm pretty confident we'll do pretty good. I got my coffee in one hand and my water in the other. I've got my ammunition. Um,
Perfect.
so if you'd like, we can go straight into the artist interview questions.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
All right, bud. So on your Medium profile, I see that it shares that you're both a photographer and a poet. What about photography and poetry, like attracts your passion so much?
So actually, this is a funny story. One I don't think I've actually told before. So I actually started doing poetry years ago, and basically, I I had like one of those blogs on Blogger, which I think Blogger was also the same creator as Medium, ironically. But anyways, I used to post them up on there, and I never had photos for my poems. So I just started taking photos, and I fell in love with it, and I just love taking photos of landscapes and trying to fit those into my poetry and see how I can work with it. So
That's really cool. I think it really does connect really well to it. Actually, like currently, like we're actually using one of Long Lost's photos here in the background that you can actually find on his Instagram page. This one's in New Hampshire, and it's just a beautiful landscape picture. I'm kind of
yeah, it's really
curious.
fun. It takes me on a lot of adventures trying to find new landscapes and that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the thing I'm kind of curious about. So, like, is there a focus within, let's say, photography that you're really kind of passionate more towards?
Yeah, I kind of so I really like the adventure side of it and trying to find new landscapes and um or I mean landscapes that people have taken photos of already. I'll see something on Instagram or I'll see something on the internet and I'll say I want to go there and
Yeah.
just plan a trip and go there, take some photos, and it's really fun to me.
So do you like natural landscapes more than like let's say urban concrete landscapes, or is there kind of a mixture of each?
I actually towards the towards the end of 2019, I was starting to get more into urban landscapes. I mostly just do natural landscapes now. I was starting to get into more urban landscapes, but with the pandemic happening and all that, that's something I kind of put on the back burner, and I would like to explore that more now.
Yeah, dude, right? Yeah, because it's,
Yeah.
it's so it's so wild. Because if you look at the background that you got here, it's like it's a beautiful, huge portrait landscape, and it's amazing, and I love it. But then I'm also
Thank
like
you.
I find myself also more attracted also to the urban photography. So it's kind of like I just like do you kind of feel like you get the energy like there's do you feel like they're two separate energies, but then also they have their own special qualities?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like nature is just for me personally is a lot more um it's a lot more healing and a lot more like satisfying.
Yeah,
Um but that's one thing like as someone who's always trying to explore new areas, the urban side is something I really do want to get into and explore a little more.
yeah.
Um but I think that's yeah, now that we're kind of hopefully heading away from this pandemic life, I would definitely like to jump into that more and explore more cities. And I feel a little more comfortable now doing that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, this has been tough. This has been pretty rough, pretty
yeah.
pretty uncomfortable. I think someone recently just sent me a meme that said it had like oh man, I can't remember the guys from Interstellar, but he was like, smoking a cigarette, and it was like the millennials, going through their fifth, once in a lifetime experience in 3 years. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, this has been exhausting.
Yeah. I think we're all ready to move away from it, but you know, just trying to be safe and all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like I said, I would definitely like to explore the urban side more. And I've been to a lot of cities, but it it actually, I think that's a thing too, is developing the eye for like those urban landscapes and kind of like getting um, getting a good view for it. I don't think I have as much of an eye for it yet, but something I can develop and learn. So
So with that in that perspective, okay, so like in nature, you've got this already created landscape, like this already created painted picture that's you take it as is, it's beautiful because nature just offers you such amazing events without your control.
exactly.
With the urban society, would you be looking at kind of like what you would do in nature, which is an architectural already supported created, or are you going to look at more of like a life size, like how humans are being?
I would look at more of an architectural side to it. I have a really hard time like tying in tying in humanity to my photos. So yeah, I think I would focus more on like the architectural side of it.
Well, I'm kind of curious then, like if we move over to your poetry, what kind of jives for you with poetry?
Pretty much pretty much anything. I feel like I feel like I mostly share um like relationship and I kind of tie nature into some of my poetry too. So I feel like that's kind of what I share mostly,
Yeah.
but I do write about pretty much everything. And going forward, that's something I'm trying to do more of, is just be open and share everything that I've got. And
Yeah.
Medium has allowed me to do that a lot more. So it's been an interesting ride already, and I can't wait to share more and more stuff.
Since coming from Blogger to Medium, have you found a better connection in Medium, or is there some nostalgic things in Blogger that you miss?
I do miss for Blogger, I feel like it was just completely open. Like you could pretty much get your blog to do almost anything, like design wise, and um, just it felt like there was less restrictions. But I do like Medium. There's a lot more of like a lot more of engagement, and I feel like it's a lot easier to get engagement on there than it was with Blogger.
Yeah.
So yeah, just different. I guess different benefits to both.
On your Medium profile, you share that you enjoy a lot of hikes through like wilderness, and we've already kind of covered a lot of focus in wilderness with your photography. What about these hikes rejuvenate like you? Is it your soul? Is it your mind? Is it your balance? What is it that pulls you into these hikes?
I feel like it's just kind of like a reset of life in general. I think life just gets so busy and kind of a cloudy mind. So when I get out there, like for example, last year I did a 3 day hike and just completely in the wilderness, like over 50 miles. It was crazy, just setting up a tent every night and just being completely hearing all the sounds of nature and experiencing the smells. If it rains, you know, you just kind of gotta deal with it, and
Yeah.
feel like it makes you return to that natural that natural state a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a couple friends that I know that do a lot of hikes, and they'll do it for a couple weeks. Like, for example, actually, a really close one would be my sister. She'll go hiking into wilderness that she doesn't know, and she's like it resets my circadian rhythm. Otherwise, I can't do it without it. Um, Now, for example, for her, she'll go to like all kinds of places. So I'm curious with you, where do you find yourself pulled towards for hiking? Is there a certain environment that you like to investigate and be a part of, or is it just very fluid and you're just kind of figuring out new experiences as you go?
Pretty much anything. For me, I I'm really close to. I don't know if you know the Adirondacks. I'm
Yes.
really close to the Adirondacks, so I go there a lot. But I'm open to exploring pretty much any landscape. I mean, I've gone camped in like the desert and next to the ocean, so pretty much whatever I have access to in the moment.
Which one of your hikes, environmental wise, has really jived with you closest?
that's a tough one. There's been so many hikes that I've done. I think one of the craziest was, so I've done a lot of hikes in like Oregon, and I don't know, there's something about the landscape of Oregon so beautiful, and so
Oh,
like
good.
I don't know, it's it's out of this world. It's
It really,
unreal.
yeah, it really is.
So it just like creatively and mentally, it's so good. Like you almost don't, aside from like the first time you go there, it's like just so out of this world. You kind of like don't even know how to take it all in.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I didn't really know things like this existed. So, and I mean, for people growing up there, I guess they might not have that as much, but for someone who's never like first time going there, it was insane. So,
Well, you mentioned earlier that in your poetry you bring in like real life emotions, experiences, but also nature. Is it when you're on these hikes, are you going by yourself so that you can connect into like a creative flow, or are you bringing other people but still able to connect with a creative flow?
it's I'd say it's different each time. I do go on hikes with a lot of people, so there are times where I am with other people, but locally I hike alone a lot, so that's always great. It's not always easy to go on solo adventures for me,
Right.
but I do like solo adventures as well. I've explored that before. Um, for example, actually, one of the most memorable moments for me was I was just laying in bed one night and I realized there was no moon out. And I was like, man, this is a perfect night to see the stars.
Right.
So I was looking up places close by to me with the best view of the stars. And I just got out of bed and drove 2 hours and slept in my car and just like looked up at the stars all night.
Oh,
And
that's wild.
yeah, so it was great. And that inspired a lot of poetry that I've written about like space and the stars. And so yeah,
That's
really fun.
that's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. That's like I really enjoy the spontaneity of just kind of like, you know what, let's just go with this. I'm feeling this. Let's do this. That's really sweet.
Yeah, it is great. It does get me into trouble sometimes, but structure can be difficult. So,
Yes.
but I do love just spontaneity of life and getting up and just being like, I don't know what today has for me, and then just kind of figuring it out and ending up 3, 4 hours away and being in a place I've never been before. So,
That's wild. Okay, so when you're when you're providing your photography or your poetry to your audience, what are you hoping to communicate with them?
that is a great question. um, I I think I'm really trying to figure that one out. I've always kind of done this as just like, I guess this is what I'm trying to, the message I'm trying to convey is like, I don't actually know what I want people to take away from me other than like just sharing what they have is
Yeah,
just like people should be sharing more of what they have just as like a healing process or like just trying to explore different parts of themselves, I think.
yeah.
So I think that's the biggest thing.
When you write and you put onto Medium, are you looking then to communicate with the audience through your work? Like, do you want to have them comment more on your work? Because I mean, you get quite a few comments on your work, and do you find that kind of helps what you're actually looking to accomplish then?
Appreciate the comments. I love the comments from people, but um, it's actually very interesting to me because I've never really had comments on my poetry prior to Medium. Like I
Oh,
have on Instagram a little bit, but people focus more on the photography side of it. So it's been interesting, like receiving feedback or like having people kind of like tell me how my poetry made them feel. I haven't really had that before prior to Medium, so it's definitely it's a different thing to me now. Um, but I am starting to like really realize how it can like awaken things in people or just like trigger certain emotions in people. So that's really cool. it's just something I never really was looking for because I never really like had it happen before. So
Right.
maybe going forward, that's something I'll look for more. But yeah, it's interesting.
Well, since you are an established poet and photographer, I'm curious, are there other artistic mediums that you've been kind of interested in looking at going further into and experimenting in?
I would love to write music. I kind of like started writing poetry because I always just liked music. Um, but I'm not musically talented at all. I know a little bit of guitar, but yeah, my skills are pretty bad. But I would like to learn a little bit more musically and just be able to put more into music. I guess that'd be fun.
Yeah. Do you have a set of music that you're actually really that interests you, or it would even be kind of like helps you kind of connect?
Yeah, I really like folk music. I listen to a lot of folk music, but I really just listen to everything.
Yeah.
I stay away from country, but there is still a decent amount of country I like. So it's kind of hard. I don't know. I pretty much like everything.
That's cool, man. Do you have any unique or upcoming experimental works or new works that you're actually looking to kind of share with the audience?
I would love to start a podcast or something like that, and
Yeah.
just yeah, kind of like this, but kind of just talk about anything. Just talk about like whatever people want to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, but yeah, I
Yeah.
always thought this kind of thing was cool.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Like a round table.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
That'd
awesome.
be a lot of fun.
I really hope you do it. I really do, because I think that'd be really good for the world to kind of incorporate new ideas, connect people more together. It'd be a very valuable thing for us all.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially now. Um, like for me personally, during the pandemic, there was a lot less communication with
Mm,
people. So I think just returning to that state of having more communication, whether it's virtually or in person or however, it just
right.
realize the importance of it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Building more bridges. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Curious, are you cool with us if flowing into the philosophical questions next?
Oh yeah, for sure.
All
That'll be
right.
fun.
This is this is kind of biasly like my favorite area. So I love learning about artists, but I'm just so curious though about their gooey human aspects. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
since you're an artist, what does art mean to you?
I think it's just expression. Like I I feel like there's a time and place for everything, but like in art, you can just do whatever, whenever,
Yeah.
and just like you don't really have to have limits on anything. And that's what I love about it. You can just go anywhere with it and express yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a beautiful experience.
yeah, it really is. It really is.
Well, for you, do you feel like we have a muse or muses that communicate with you to connect with art?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I think it's just what pushes it is the just like the possibility of experiencing something new or just like having experience that I've never had before, I've never thought about having before. So I think that's really what it is.
That's awesome. What kind of methods of discipline do you use to help engage in your artistic routines?
That is something I actually am trying to be better at. I don't really have many disciplines right now. A lot of it is just like when inspiration strikes,
Yeah.
which means that like the output can vary. Like some like months I can just be writing every day or doing something every day, but then like other months there's nothing.
Right.
So I've kind of like the past week haven't really done anything. Um, but that's yeah, I like to put more structures in place there and kind of have more of a output.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the things that like inspiration wise, like I'll just be driving, and a lot of times when I'm driving, there's just like things coming into my head and kind of like, so I feel like for me, if I'm looking to be creative and I'm like, I just need something, I'll just go on a drive and kind of like seeing things and having that alone time and that quiet time. That's where it usually strikes.
What are the roadblocks that kind of inhibit your ability to kind of connect and engage in this? And how do you look to kind of resolve those roadblocks?
The roadblocks are constant distraction for me. So like if I'm not putting aside that time to create, then basically I'm just getting distracted by the endless amounts of content on the internet or whatever. And there's just so much noise out there.
Yeah,
So I think that's the biggest roadblock for me.
that makes a lot of sense. It's a
Yeah,
lot of chatter.
yeah, yeah. Like I'll hop on YouTube to just watch one video, and then 3 hours later, I'm like, oh, well, I got nothing done.
Yeah. What advice would you provide the younger you in this artistic pursuits?
Oh, that just exactly that. Like, man, I think if I would have known early on, like how much time I would have spent, like just consuming pointless content or watching pointless videos, which I mean they're funny and they're great and all, but just yeah, just staying away or at least limiting myself on
Yeah.
the amount of time I spend just consuming pointless pointless things on the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
And even TV shows and Netflix now too. I mean, so easy to binge watch something that I don't even realize I'm not interested until the last episode.
Yeah. The dopamine chase where you're
Yes,
just like, I gotta go for the next one. Yeah.
exactly.
I'm riding this low simmering high and it's great.
Yeah. And you could just keep riding it and riding it.
Yeah. Who is an artist or artists that inspire you or connect with you?
I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but at the same time, I'm not embarrassed at all. Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the greatest like writers of all time. I
What
think
is it
she's one
about
of my
her
biggest
writing?
influence. She just constantly is finding a way to make her love life interesting after however many years. I mean, and there are times where like I listen to some of the stuff she's written and I'm like, yeah, she could have done better, I know. But like at the same time, just constantly she's constantly creating and putting out so much music. And I think that's what's so inspirational is like I think it was 2020 she put out 2 albums, and I'm just like, how, I don't know how someone does that. It's just so incredible to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of dedication, discipline, and like follow through. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
Since we were talking about Taylor Swift and what kind of inspires you with that kind of work, is there like a song or even not just song, books or other works that you would recommend for other artists?
Ooh, books. So one of the most inspirational books for me has been um, Lord of the Rings. Like growing up watching those movies, and eventually like read books and read The Hobbit and all that stuff. Um, just like that sense of adventure that is presented to like I grew up such a homebody, and that kind of reminds me of I don't know if you've I don't know if you've been uh, involved in Lord of the Rings at all or what,
Oh yeah.
but just like that homebody of Bilbo and Frodo, like those they were just such homebodies, and then just thrust into the adventure, and it's just it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and the adventure that they get to go on and the amount of I mean, there's just so much to learn from those books that Tolkien kind of sent us to. It's like
Yeah,
it's really refreshing. The whole story is very refreshing. Except I always get to the point where it's like they're choosing who's going to get the ring, and I'm like, yes, you're the parent of this, and you're sibling of this, and I'm just like, 8 pages later, man, we got through all the family lineages.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's that's the that's the downfall of reading those books is there's just so much. But then the upside is like there's so much content people can like build off of and make
So
movies
much.
and shows. So it's like yeah, but the books were really rough to read. The first like Fellowship of the Ring was super easy, and then the other two, it was really tough.
Seriously. So curious if a viewer that's watching this would like to kind of connect, maybe even work with you, collaborate, or even get on that podcast that you're looking to kind of further do in the future. What are kind of the best ways for them to kind of connect with you?
Right now, um, probably Medium, um, Instagram. I'm still trying to figure out like I spend way too much time on Instagram, and I definitely want to limit that. So I'm kind of trying to figure out if I want to like completely remove myself or just limit myself a lot more on there.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, Instagram as well, but probably mostly Medium right now. Which we were talking about this. There's not really a way to directly get in contact with someone there, which makes it difficult. So
Right.
I think that's a little weird. But
Yeah.
anyone can just comment on whatever, and I'll get it.
I was going to say the other thought that I was going to say is one way that I've been contacted myself for publications is that if you allow to have private notes within highlighting on Medium, individuals can private note you through a highlight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's probably something I need to change in settings then.
I don't know. I'd have to check your profile. I can see if it's available to you, and if it's not,
Yeah,
like you would it would be hard for you on your side to see for your own work. But if it's like,
yeah,
let's say I went and checked it, I could be able to tell you. Yeah, I'll check. I'll check.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll check the settings too to see if that's turned off or turned on.
yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to kind of share with the audience or with me through this interview?
I I don't think so.
Cool,
I think
man.
we covered a lot. We covered more than I even knew I had. So
Well, I'm so glad that you were here, and thank you for introducing yourself and sharing your artistic work with this community. It's really very profound work, and I have come to find that I like a lot of inspiration from your work, and so it's been very good. So thank you.
oh, thank you so much, and thanks for having me on here. This was fun.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Have a good day, dude.
You too.